Hookbaits that hold. Sweetcorn, worms, pellets, and combinations. A good hookbait must do 3 jobs. Stay on the hook, release enough attraction, look believable to the fish. No single bait wins every job. Worms and softened pellets release strong signals but are fragile. Plastic corn lasts for many casts but gives little natural food signal. Wafters sit between the two, durable, visible, and lightly buoyant. This guide compares sweetcorn, worms, pellets, plastic corn, and flavored wafters for roach, skimmers, bream, and mixed course fishing. Important evidence note: there is very little direct scientific research comparing retail hookbaits on roach and skimmers. The advice below combines fish feeding research, species biology, manufacturer data, and practical field testing methods. What fish notice first? Fish do not use only one sense when they feed. They may use sight, smell, taste, touch, and water movement. Smell can help fish find a bait from a distance, while taste helps them decide whether to swallow or reject it. Fish sensory systems review. Water clarity changes the balance between these senses. Suspended particles scatter light and can shorten the distance at which fish see food. However, the effect is not the same for every species. Some fish continue feeding well in moderate turbidity, while others take longer to find food. Environmental changes and fish feeding. White bream turbidity study. Roach may continue feeding in some turbid conditions, but other studies show that higher turbidity can reduce their feeding efficiency. This means there is no simple rule that says clear water needs visual bait or dirty water needs strong flavor. The best bait gives fish more than one clue: contrast, scent, taste, and natural movement. Roach feeding efficiency study. Quick hook bait comparison. The table below gives useful starting estimates for bank fishing. These are not laboratory measurements. Hook size, casting force, fish size, water temperature, and bait brand can change the result. For the full table, please open this article on smartfishing.pro. Sweetcorn, natural, bright, and easy to use. Durability. Real sweetcorn is soft. A direct hooked grain can split during a hard cast or be stripped by small fish. Hair rigging usually gives it a longer life because the hook does not tear through the grain. A single grain is usually the most natural choice. 2 grains create a larger target and make the bait easier to see, but the extra size does not automatically stop roach or skimmers. Hungry small bream can still take surprisingly large food items. Leakage. Sweetcorn gives a short, mild food signal. The liquid around the grain can wash away quickly, while the skin and starch remain. Dipped or flavored corn gives a stronger first signal, but repeated soaking can soften the bait. For a stronger leak without losing too much durability, use 1 real grain with 1 plastic grain. Make a tiny cut in the real grain. Add only a light coating of liquid. Do not leave real corn soaking for hours unless you want a very soft bait. Visual appeal. The yellow color of corn is useful because it is easy to see against dark silt, green weed, or brown ground bait. In very clear water, bright corn can look too clean or too obvious, especially if fish have seen it many times. Try natural yellow over yellow ground bait or real corn. Washed out yellow or pale beige in clear pressured water. White or bright yellow in low light or cloudy water. The correct color is the one that is contrast against the bottom. It is not always the brightest color. Best sweet corn rigs. Single grain, roach, skimmers, mixed fish. 2 real grains, larger bream, tench, carp, or when small fish are stripping singles. 1 real grain plus 1 plastic grain, better durability and a larger profile. 2 plastic grains, maximum durability but less natural food value. Worms, maximum life, movement and scent durability. Worms are soft and easy for small fish to damage. A long tail may look attractive, but it also lets roach nibble the bait without taking the hook. A small piece often lasts longer than a whole worm. Thread the worm onto the hook several times and leave only a short tail. Government fishing guidance also recommends using a shorter section and hooking it securely when small fish are present. Missouri Department of Conservation Bait Guide. A worm is most durable when it is kept cool and damp. It is hooked through the thicker head end. It is threaded neatly up the shank. The dangling section is short. The hook point remains clear. Leakage. A worm gives a strong natural signal through body fluids, mucus, movement, small pieces breaking away, earthy and animal odors. A cut worm normally gets a faster scent release than a whole worm. That can be useful in turbid water, but it also makes the bait disappear faster. Visual appeal. Worms are not mainly visual baits. Their strength is movement and natural behavior. This makes them especially useful when fish are close to the bottom or feeding on natural invertebrates. Common bream feed heavily on bottom organisms such as insect larvae, while roach may eat vegetation, insect larvae, and small mollusks. This is one reason worms can attract both species. Bream and roach diet study. Best worm presentations. Small worm section, good for cold water and cautious fish. Worm plus 1 grain of corn, adds color and makes the bait easier to see. Worm tip on a hard pellet, useful when you want animal scent, but better durability. 2 short worm pieces. Gives movement without creating a long, easy-to-nibble tail. Worms are excellent for catching fish, but they are usually poor for avoiding skimmers. If skimmers are the problem, use a larger and tougher bait. Pellets, 2 very different hook baits. Pellet can mean a hard feed pellet or a soft expander pellet. They behave very differently underwater. Hard pellets. Hard pellets are dense and can last through many casts. Some are designed to break down slowly and contain fish oil or other food ingredients. Sonubait's hard pellets. Their leakage pattern is usually a small release as the surface wets, a slow food and oil trail, gradual softening from the outside, final breakdown after extended soaking. Hard pellets are useful when we need to cast often. Small fish are stripping soft baits. The water is warm enough for fish to feed actively. You want a bait that matches loose feed. A 6 to 8 mm hard pellet can reduce very small roach bites, but it will not stop bigger roach or skimmers. Expander pellets. Expander pellets are soft and porous. They take on water quickly and usually release more food signal than a hard pellet. They are also easier to damage. Some modern hookable expanders are designed to be soaked overnight and still remain usable. Sonubait's Pro Expander Pellets. Pre-prepared expanders are also sold for skimmers, bream, carp, and other small commercial fish situations. Sonubait's hookable expander pellets. Their usual pattern is fast water absorption, fast flavor release, soft texture, lower casting life, high attraction to small fish. Use expanders when the fish are already feeding confidently. Use hard pellets when you need the hook bait to hold together. Plastic corn, the durable safety net. Plastic corn has one major strength. It stays on the hook. Artificial corn is available as floating, slow sinking, and sinking versions. Some products are made in several colors and have flavor added during production. Corders slow sinking corn, for example, is designed to sit with lighter feed while still being easy for fish to suck in. Corders slow sinking corn. Nash also describes floating corn as a durable hook bait that can be used alone, in stacks, or with other baits. Nash floating sweet corn. Leakage plain plastic corn has almost no natural food leakage. It may still catch fish because it looks like loose feed. It can be balanced correctly. It may carry a manufacturer added flavor. Fish may suck it in while feeding on nearby particles. You can add a light dip, spray, or liquid coating. However, too much liquid can make some artificial baits slippery, overly buoyant, or less natural. Visual appeal. Plastic corn is excellent when you need a clear target. It works well over dark silt, in weed, over a bed of real corn, in a PVA bag, when the hook bait must survive nuisance fish. Its weakness is that it can look too perfect. In clear water, use a duller color or mix it with a real grain. Flavored wafters, balanced, tough, and flexible. A wafter is a hook bait made to sink slowly or sit lightly on the bottom when attached to the hook. This can make it easier for a fish to suck in than a heavy bottom bait. Many wafters have a tough outer skin and are made to last for long periods in the water. C.C. Moore lists some of its wafters as having a durable skin lasting 24 hours or more, with balanced buoyancy and a mix designed to release attractors. C.C. Moore Yellow Dumbbell Wafters. Leakage wafters normally give a steady, controlled release rather than the sharp burst of a cut worm or soaked expander. This makes them useful when fish are cautious. A light booster coat can increase the first signal. Repeated heavy coating may change buoyancy, so test the bait in a tub before fishing. C.C. Moore NS1 Wafters. Flavor intensity. Strong flavor does not always mean more bites. Fish species can respond differently to the same chemical. Research on carp and crucian carp shows that some amino acids increase feeding, while others are neutral or even deterrent. Concentration also matters. Crucian carp feeding stimulants. Common carp taste response. For roach and skimmers, treat flavor as a tuning tool, not a magic switch. Start unflavored or lightly flavored. Increase the strength only if the bait is being ignored. Use a stronger scent in turbid water or warm water. Reduce the flavor in cold, clear water. Single baits, double stacks, and combinations. Single reel corn, best for natural presentation and mixed fish. Advantages: small and easy to swallow, matches loose feed, good in clear water, simple to rig. Disadvantage: small fish can remove it quickly. Double reel corn, best for more visibility and a larger mouthful. 2 grains give a longer profile, but fish can still attack the grains one at a time. A double stack is not the same as one solid 10mm bait. Use it when roach are stripping single grains. The water is slightly cloudy. You want more visual attraction. Larger fish are present. Single plastic corn, best for long sessions and repeated casting. It gives little food signal, so fish must be attracted by nearby feed or by the visual match. Real corn plus plastic corn. This is one of the most useful combinations. The real grain provides food smell, taste, natural softness. The plastic grain provides durability, extra color, a larger profile, buoyancy control. Use a slow-sinking plastic grain if you want the stack to sit naturally on the bottom. Double plastic corn. This gives the longest bait life and the strongest visual target. It is useful in turbid water, or when crays, small fish, or repeated casting destroy real bait. It is less natural in clear water, so use a washed-out color or fish it over matching particles. Wafter plus plastic corn. This can create a very visible and balanced bait. It works best when the buoyancy is checked carefully. If the rig lifts the hook point, the presentation may become poor. Test the combination in the margin before casting. Selectivity against roach and skimmers. Flavor alone rarely creates strong species selectivity. Bait size, hardness, buoyancy, and fishing location usually matter more. Common bream have a more protrusible mouth and are well adapted to feeding on bottom organisms. Roach have different mouth and feeding mechanics, but both species can eat soft pellets, worms, and corn. Common bream feeding morphology. If you want to reduce small roach, replace a 4mm soft pellet with a 6 to 8mm hard pellet. Replace a long worm tail with a short worm section. Try one 8 to 10mm wafter. Use real corn plus plastic corn. Fish slightly tighter to the bottom. If you want to reduce small skimmers, use a tougher 10 to 12mm wafter. Try a larger hard pellet or pellet-style hookbait. Avoid loose soft worm pieces. Reduce the amount of fine feed. Do not expect flavor alone to keep skimmers away. If larger bream are the target, remember that a larger bait may reduce small fish bites, but can also reduce the total number of bites. Use the smallest bait that solves the nuisance fish problem. 3 simple hookbait experiments. Experiment 1. Color and contrast. Goal: find out whether fish prefer a natural color or a high contrast color in your water. Test baits. Use hookbaits of the same size and shape. Natural yellow corn, washed out yellow or beige, white, pink or orange artificial corn, 1 colored wafter. Method: keep the hook, line, rig, and casting distance the same. Fish each color for 10 to 15 minutes. Change the order each session. Repeat the test on both clear and turbid days. Record bites per hour, missed bites, roach, skimmers, larger bream, fish size. Expected result: in clear water, natural or washed out colors may look safer. In cloudy water, the best bait may be the one with the strongest contrast against the bottom. This is a testable idea, not a fixed rule, because turbidity can affect fish species in different ways. Fish feeding and turbidity review. Experiment 2. Flavor intensity. Goal: find the point where more flavor stops helping. Test levels. Use one bait type, such as a wafter or cooked sweetcorn. Level 0, no flavor. Level 1, quick dip or light spray. Level 2, 5-minute soak. Level 3, 30-minute soak or 2 light coats. Follow the product instructions if the liquid has a recommended mixing rate. Keep the color and bait size identical. Method: use separate tubs for each flavor level. Do not pour used liquid back into the main bottle. Fish each level for the same amount of time. Record both bite numbers and fish size. What to look for. More bites but smaller fish may mean the flavor increases attraction but not selectivity. Fewer bites on the strongest level may mean the bait has become too intense. The best level may change with water temperature and clarity. Fish taste responses are species specific, so results from carp or crucian carp should not be treated as proof for roach or skimmers. Crucian Carp Feeding Study, Experiment 3, Soak Duration and Bait Life. Goal: measure how soaking changes leakage and durability. Test times: for pellets, 0 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, overnight. For real corn and wafters, start with shorter times, 0 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Home test: place equal-sized baits in separate cups of water taken from the fishing venue. Check them at each time. Does the water become cloudy? Has the bait changed color? Has it become soft? Does it still hold on the hook? Can it survive 5 or 10 casts? Does it still sink or balance correctly? Weighing the bait before and after soaking can also show how much water it absorbs. Likely pattern: cut worm, strong early signal, low durability. Expander pellet, fast softening and fast release. Real corn, moderate release, moderate softening. Hard pellet, slower release and stronger durability. Wafter, controlled release and good durability. Plastic corn, very little release unless dipped or flavored. This simple test will often tell you more about your exact bait brand than general advice. Seasonal hookbait rotation. Fish are cold-blooded, so water temperature affects metabolism, digestion, and feeding behavior. As water cools, fish usually need less energy and may feed more slowly. As it warms, feeding activity often rises, although spawning, oxygen, and natural food can change the pattern. Temperature and fish feeding review. Roach feeding activity has been linked with higher summer temperatures in field research, while bream feeding can change during spawning and across the seasons. Roach Seasonal Feeding Study, Common Bream Seasonal Diet Study. The temperature bands below are useful starting points, not strict rules. For the full table, please open this article on Smart Fishing Pro. Cold and clear, start small and natural. Single corn, short worm section, 4 to 6 mm hard pellet, small washed out wafter. Use little or no added flavor. Fish may inspect the bait for a long time, so a soft, natural-looking presentation is more important than a strong smell. Cool and cloudy. This is a good time for combinations. 1 real grain plus 1 plastic grain. Small worm plus corn. Lightly flavored wafter. Softened pellet on a short cast. Use a color that stands out, but avoid making the bait much brighter than the loose feed. Warm and clear. Fish often feed more confidently, but clear water can make them cautious. Try double corn 6 to 8 mm hard pellet, 8 to 10 mm wafter. Lightly flavored yellow or washed out bait. If small roach dominate, increase bait hardness before increasing flavor. Warm and turbid. Use a bait that offers several clues: strong contrast, moderate scent, enough size to avoid tiny mouths. Good casting life. A real corn and plastic corn stack, a flavored wafter, or a 6 to 8 mm hard pellet are good starting points. Sunnerbaits and other manufacturers also sell liquid products designed to color or flavor corn and pellets, but use them lightly until your own tests show a benefit. Sunnerbaits Haze Liquids. Conclusion: the best hookbait is not always the one with the strongest smell or brightest color. Use this simple order of decisions. Make the bait hold. Match its size to the fish you want. Choose a color that contrasts with the bottom. Add a light food signal. Increase flavor only after checking presentation. For most mixed course fishing, start with single real corn, a short worm piece, 1 hard pellet, and 1 real plus plastic corn stack. Add a small flavored wafter when you need better durability or a more selective bait. If the hookbait disappears, improve durability. If it remains untouched, change the color or position. If every bite is a roach or skimmer, increase bait size and hardness rather than simply adding more flavor. All links to sources are available in the text version of this article. You can find the full article at smartfishing.pro/blog. Thanks for listening. For more research-driven freshwater fishing guides, fish species breakdowns, and lake fishing tactics, visit smartfishing.pro. That's smartfishing.pro for the full written research and new fishing updates.